It started like any normal morning in a quiet British town. Birds were chirping, joggers were passing by, dog walkers were smiling, and families were doing what they had done for generations, walking freely through Windsor Great Park. For hundreds of years, this park didn't belong to the rich. It didn't belong to politicians. It belonged to the people, to common citizens, to old couples, to children, to families, a public space made for breathing, for peace, for freedom. But one silent decision changed everything. No warning, no public vote, no preparation. Fences started appearing overnight. Metal barriers were installed. CCTV cameras went up. Security guards appeared. And suddenly, large parts of the park were no longer public. They were blocked, forbidden, closed. And the reason behind this decision shocked people when they found out. Because this wasn't about safety. This wasn't about emergency. This wasn't about nature protection. Because this isn't just about a park. This isn't just about a house. This is about a system where powerful people live one life and common people live another. A system where a normal citizen must follow every rule, every fine, every tax, every restriction. But when powerful people want comfort, the rules disappear. Families who used to visit that park every weekend were suddenly standing in front of metal fences. Mothers trying to explain to their children why they couldn't go inside anymore. Old men feeling like strangers in a place they had walked through their entire lives. Dog walkers being stopped, joggers being redirected. People weren't just losing access to land, they were losing memories, they were losing routines, they were losing peace. And the worst part? Nobody asked them. No referendum, no town hall meeting, no public discussion. Just a quiet royal move followed by loud public silence. Or at least that's what they thought. But they underestimated something. People started comparing their own lives. A common man struggling to pay rent, a mother working 2 jobs, a student drowning in loans, and on the other side, a royal couple moving into a luxury forest home while public land gets sealed. That contrast, that anger, that unfairness, that's what makes stories go viral. But as if that wasn't enough, another royal scandal started heating up, the Prince Andrew situation. Behind the curtains of royal luxury, there was another story brewing. Prince Andrew, already a controversial figure, was reportedly being asked to vacate his current royal residence. Why? Because the monarchy wanted to modernize, to cut costs, to become more relatable. But here's the twist. And people started connecting the dots. One side of the royal family moves to a luxury forest lodge. Public parks close. Another royal demands an even bigger mansion. And common people? They get speeches about sacrifice and unity. This wasn't just news anymore. This was a storyline. And every good viral video needs one thing: emotion. The internet loves stories that expose contrast: poor versus rich, powerless versus powerful, public versus royalty, rules for you, not for them. This story had everything. And then came the most powerful element, a simple question. If the land is public, why can't the public enter? That question started echoing everywhere. YouTube creators started reacting, and now they looked like landlords. They looked like elites. They looked like rulers of land that wasn't supposed to belong to them. And that is how trust starts breaking. But what makes this story even crazier is what happened next. The royal family tried to control the narrative. They didn't directly apologize. They didn't release a clear statement explaining the closures. Instead, short formal lines were issued. Dry, cold, carefully worded. Increased security measures due to sensitive residents' relocation. No mention of people's hardship, no mention of lost access, no acknowledgement of public anger. And that silence was louder than any confession. At this point, many people weren't even surprised anymore. They were just tired. Tired of double standards, tired of being told to follow rules while powerful people live above them, tired of being invisible. And that is exactly why this topic is perfect for a viral video. Because it's not just a—
Now here's where the turning point begins. Because when pressure increases, two things can happen. Either the powerful listen or the people get louder. And online, they were getting very loud. Petitions started appearing. Local politicians were tagged. Media houses slowly started paying attention. Small protests started taking place. Nothing violent, nothing loud, just people standing quietly with signs. Parks are for people. Public land belongs to the public. Privacy should not steal freedom. And those images, that contrast of silent protest versus royal luxury, that's what viral thumbnails are made of. But here's the twist that made everything more dramatic. Insiders started leaking stories. Unofficial reports claimed that this wasn't temporary. This wasn't a short-term security measure. This closure was long-term, semi-permanent. And that made people even angrier. Because that means something terrifying. Once a public space is gone, it rarely comes back. And now people weren't just angry, they were scared. Scared of what comes next. Today, it's a park. Tomorrow, it's streets. After that, who knows? And that fear is what keeps viewers glued to the screen. Because they aren't just watching a story. They are imagining themselves inside it. And that— Because when public outrage starts rising, powerful people don't panic, they calculate. They don't ask, how can we help? They ask, how can we control the story? And that's exactly what started happening. Royal advisors, PR teams, crisis managers all stepped in. Their job wasn't to fix the problem. Their job was to reduce the noise. Headlines slowly changed. Some media houses stopped covering the story. Others softened the tone. Words like controversy became misunderstanding. Public outrage became mixed reactions. But the internet doesn't forget that easily. And then something unexpected happened. A man who never planned to be famous became the face of this entire situation. His name wasn't trending before. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He was just a normal dog walker. Every morning at 7 a.m., he walked his dog through the same path in the park. For 20 years. Same route, same bench, same peace. One morning, he reached that path and saw a fence. At first, he laughed. He thought it was temporary. Construction, maybe. Maintenance. But when a guard told him, this area is now restricted, something inside him cracked. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He just turned on his phone. And he recorded a video. He simply said, I'm not angry. I'm just confused. This was our park. That clip went viral. Not because it was aggressive, not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Comments poured in. This could be my father. This is heartbreaking. This is wrong. And with that one simple video, this story stopped being political. It became human. But while the public was expressing emotion, the royal world kept moving. Prince William and Kate's new residence started getting finalized. Landscaping, security systems, privacy walls, exclusive access roads, every detail carefully built to create a perfect private world. And outside that perfect world, broken routines, canceled walks, lost memories. And then came the bigger shift. Politicians stepped in, not to support the people, but to avoid embarrassment. Because when stories like this go international, they stop being local issues. They become global images. Governments don't like being seen as unfair. Monarchies don't like being seen as selfish. So quietly, they tried to handle it. Small meetings were arranged. Listening sessions were announced. Fake promises were whispered. But people weren't as easy to fool anymore. They had heard these words before. We're reviewing the matter. We're looking into it. We care about public sentiment. And still, the fences were standing. Then, just when it seemed like the story had reached its peak, something surprising happened with Prince Andrew's situation. A royal insider leaked information. Andrew's demands were reportedly categorized as non-negotiable. He didn't want a reasonable home. He didn't want adjustments. He wanted luxury. Because in his world, stepping down meant stepping sideways, not stepping down. And when this leak came out, the narrative shifted. This was no longer about just one royal movement. It was about a pattern. It was about a mindset.